Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to continue talking about bassoon vibrato. Remember, vibrato is something that we add to our sound that just livens it up and makes it more bright, vibrant, and you can even say just a little bit sparkly. And it's that wave to your sound that just gives it that little bit extra and bumps up your musicianship to the next level. Vibrato is part of what's considered the characteristic sound for the bassoon, and so that's something that people really expect to hear. Now, before we begin, let me remind you, just like starting the instrument was and learning anything new, it will be a little bit frustrating at first, but you will get past it, just like anything else that you've learned on your instrument. There is some frustration, there is some failure, but then there's success if you keep working through it. So this will pay off in the long run for your musicianship and everything else. You just have to get past that and keep working. So don't get frustrated. Or do get frustrated, but remember to take a breath, relax, and keep going. So vibrato, again, is something that will add that extra to your sound, and then it can also hide some small little tuning inconsistencies if you're playing with somebody else and as a duet or in an ensemble, and that can change that. But what it won't fix is bad tone or just being really out of tune. So make sure that you're still doing things to improve your tone, because that's the most important part of your playing. So again, just like we talked about in the last video, where we were working with just our airstream in our hand, make sure that our air comes from our spinning the air in our throat using that oo syllable versus using our abs to push, and make sure that you keep the airstream very steady and that it never lets up. We want this to be smooth, not harsh or jagged. And so here's what it sounds like if you push air from just using your abs. Again, it's not smooth, it's really harsh and jagged. And if you don't keep your air pulses with the same strength, you're going to get a little bit of an unevenness like this. And it sounds like you're doing just some sort of weird emphasis with your tone. And so again, just like we did with our air in our hand, we're going to start with our metronome at 60 beats a minute. We're going to play an F, just your whisper key F, because that's a pretty mild, easy, middle-of-the-road note to play. And if you want to play along with me, we're going to do quarter note pulses at 60 beats a minute. And then again, once you're ready, you can push the next step up to eighth notes. Again, keeping everything coming from spinning the air in the throat, not using your abs, not moving your jaw, those of you that were saxophone players as well. And then you can move to triplets next. And then the next step would be to go to 16th notes or 5 tuplets, and then to slowly start increasing that metronome speed from 60 to, and then upping that to where you can. And remember, there will be a ceiling of just how fast your vibrato can go and should go, and always use your ear and see what sounds good and what sounds even and everything else. And when you get to a point that it doesn't, stop and back up. Now, you're probably going to get really bored if you're only playing vibrato on just one long tone. So let's take it and put it with a scale. So let's pick our B flat concert scale. Let's play it up in 1 octave at half notes with triplet vibrato. And then again, you can go up and down your scale, any scale that you want, but just make sure the vibrato doesn't stop between notes. So it's not. So just like your air doesn't stop between notes, the vibrato doesn't stop between notes. You're just moving your fingers and articulating under and inside of doing all of that. And then once you feel like, hey, I'm doing this with my scales and everything else, go back to the beginning band book and put some of that on some of your long tones and some of your beginner songs like Hot Cross Buns or Mary Had a Little Lamb. Pick some music that you already know and see if you can't add vibrato to it. So again, remember, vibrato will add a lot to your playing. You just have to keep working at it. So remember, keep the air very steady. Don't use your abs. Let the air spin in your throat. And it will be frustrating, but you can push through it, just like learning anything else can be frustrating at times. Don't let that get the best of you. So until next time, good luck and happy practicing.